Okay, good morning again. Here is the next video as promised. Oh dear. What did I do with my sticky notes of the thing I'm supposed to say? Hold the phone, hold the phone. Here we go. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, the first thing I want to say is I've already posted my video. It's live and available to watch of my mini not live sale. Does that mean it's undead? And I just wanted to convey that while I was filming that and uploading it and all of that, what was going on inside of me was jello that was electrified, so it was like spazzy wiggling on my inside. I am barely comfortable doing this kind of video, regardless of how I sound to you. I have to pump myself up every time I get on here. It's like going out into public for those people who have difficulty publishing. That is one of my most difficult things, and I realize you can't really see me other than my, still semi-plague fingers, cat hands. It's just semi-stress inducing for me. I am getting more comfortable with it, but the live or the not live sale thing is totally out of my comfort zone. I personally feel like it's going to flop horribly, but hopefully I'll get more comfortable with it as time goes on. So it was electrified wiggly jello on the outside and spazzy hyperness on the outside. Now, I promised, somebody said at the end of, or near the end of NaTasha's live stream yesterday, we were joking about beads, and somebody had found in their like in their storage closet, in their, that catch-all space we all have in our house where we just shove things and maybe pretend like they don't exist, and then sometimes we find things and we're like, ah, I didn't even remember I had that. Well, I don't remember the username, and I am so sorry that I don't. I feel like a butt. But they had found a tin full of multicolored beads of all sizes, including some rather large beads. And as you know, since the Wonky Dangle incident on NaTasha's channel, things have been running kind of rampant with the naughtiness and the silliness with regards to, semi-risque, maybe inappropriate, just right on the line of things that dangle. And so there was this tin of beads, and the very large ones somebody referred to as man beads. And then, so this was on the previous day stream, so someone genuinely asked the question during the stream, oh my god, what are you talking about? What are man beads? Which I'm sure led to a lot of snickering before a couple of us posted that man beads are just very large beads that might remind you of certain man parts. Just saying. So there, I have said the thing I promised to say to all of you in my sweet voice that you think is so adorable and cuddly. I would just like to say a heartfelt F you to all of you. And that is said with love and total haggish evil. Alright, on with the Happy Mail retail therapy. Some lovely person who would like to remain anonymous, it's actually a couple of people, decided, based on my video watching, to ask me for my address, and what they told me was, I'd like to send you a Happy Mail. And I was like, oh, cool. So I shot them my address, and I thought, I'm just going to get an envelope of some cutesy fun stuff. And that is not what happened. What I got was a 1A5 Amazon box crammed with this lovely goodness. So what they sent me were some of the things I've been whinging about. And I will tell you that in a video right after they asked for my address for the Happy Mail, I had said that I thought I was going to be able to purchase in some things for the business. So they had messaged me on Etsy and said, don't do that yet. Now I feel like I have to ruin the surprise. And they told me what they'd done. And I couldn't even respond to their email for an entire day because every time I went into the Etsy combo to answer it, I started bawling like a baby. Just like I'm starting to do a little tiny bit right now. My eyes are leaking happiness. um, it was such an unexpected and sweet gesture. And when I whinge, I'm just venting. I never ever expect anybody to do anything about it because that is not anybody else's job. It's my job to keep my business afloat, to fix my personal life and all of that. I appreciate all of the commiseration and, the, even though I will not admit it, I am not admitting it right now, the hugging, and all of just, the camaraderie. I love all of that, but it's my job to fix my life. So something like this literally moves me to tears. So what I got in the box is some 4x6 index cards, and this will help me finish out my black index card lot because this is actually what I was short to finish out the lot. They sent me this lovely pack of 4-inch doilies to test out, which is amazing because I had said I'd like to try some other sizes, so I have this lovely pack to test. And I don't know if I'm going to black dye it or tea dye it. I have not decided yet, but they are quite lovely. They're a little more intricate than the ones I'm using, so this will give me a good chance to test out something that is more intricate and potentially, could be more greatly damaged in the dye process before I invest, in buying 1,000 or, whatever the gross quantity is for buying in enough to, offer for sale and for my personal use. They also sent me, this is actually the paper that I use, and I don't know how they figured that out because I don't think I've said I use bright white paper, 24 pound, but I never said what brand it was. I don't think I've ever said that. So this is actually the brand I use. It's the weight I use, so it's awesome. This will help me out with keeping up with my color dyeing and my coffee dyeing. And I'm opening the box, and my son comes in from work, and I'm blubbering, and I'm surrounded by paper products, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "But they," and he was like, "I am going to my room. I can't even." He does share my love of stationery, but he does not get the whole, he's, he tolerates what goes on in my kitchen. And that's saying a lot because coffee and tea dyeing and dip dyeing is a messy, messy process. It's a messy process. And we have a tiny, tiny kitchen. So keeping up with the dishes and cooking the food and dyeing the paper and drying the paper. I do iron out here. My dye station is that way. And then kind of that way. It's along this wall that's over here that is just out of my arm's reach. It's maybe an arm's reach and a half away from me. So I iron right there. But it is messy. It makes the floor messy. I'm constantly wiping down the counters and everything. So when I say he tolerates it, truly, if it was anybody living with me, if I had a significant other or a roommate, my significant other I would expect would tolerate it because it's what I love to do. And I do make a little bit of money from it. But a roommate would never tolerate this from me. There's just no effing way. So it's awesome that he tolerates it, that he will listen to me blabber on about what the paper looks like, the effects I got. He'll nod in the right places, and occasionally he'll wander off because he's 21 and he does not care about dip dyed or coffee dyed paper. So that is awesome. And this is the final thing, and the thing that I am not most excited about necessarily, but since I was completely out of this, yay, super, super happy. I cannot thank the people that did this enough. You warmed my heart, made me cry. My eyes leaked happiness all over the place multiple times. I don't know if I'm going to do black with this, just because if I can get it light enough, I guess, it would be kind of grayish, and that would be cool. I love being able to offer 2 or 3 kinds of paper in a lot, for each kind of color that I do, and I've only really been able to offer the plain paper because of the color set, because of the depth of the color. I worry about the obscured lines, so I'm going to test a small batch of this probably the next time. I think I'm probably going to finish drying the current coffee dye batch today, and so I will start working on brewing up a new batch of coffee dye, but in the meantime, what I do is I do a dip dye, because that paper doesn't have to be in the dye bath nearly as long for the depth of color. It's actually much shorter for the dip dye process. So I will test that out in my next black lot, or you know what I mean, in my next batch of black dip dyed paper. I will test out about 10 sheets and see how that goes, because I'm very excited about it. But also, this means I can do blue, and I can get a little bit more purple done, and I need some teal replacement on this. I don't have any extra for when I sell, so this is particularly lovely. Not that any of the other stuff is not, because it is 100% amazing. And please, nobody else ever do this again. That is not what my channel is about. I don't expect anyone else to help me fix my problems. When I whinge, I am literally just venting, because better out than in. Once it's out, I'm not brewing on it. I'm not letting it, it's not sitting inside of me, turning into a festering pile of ick. So, hugs to you, genuine hugs, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I cannot ever thank you enough. Thank you. All right. And now we will do the things that I ordered in. I waited until I had received that order, because I've had that order probably for about a week. And once I had received it and I knew what was in it, because they just gave me a general idea of what was coming, and I was so surprised by the variety and the accuracy of the items they chose. Just thank you. These are the things I bought in. I bought in a 4-pack of steno paper. I actually prefer the green tint, but I can't find it in a great enough quantity for a good enough price, so I've just been dyeing white. I do prefer the Greg rule to most other kinds. Occasionally I do like a steno pad that's the graph paper type, because that's fun too. But this is what I ordered. It's just a 4-pack of steno paper. Nothing terribly exciting. You've all seen it already coffee dyed, but I will show you one, just because that's how I am. So there's the steno paper. Yay, steno paper. So I just take the rings out. I save these for other things. I have done collages on them. I've made tags out of them. I folded them in half and made mini books out of them. The front is a little flimsier than the back, but I reused this packaging. This is not recyclable, unfortunately. I do just snip it off and roll it out, and that leaves so you don't have the rip up here. I like it both ways, ripping it out and just rolling the wire binding out. But I found that most of my customers, when consulted, prefer it not ripped. So that's what I do in my store. I have sometimes made sets for myself with it ripped out, because I like that effect. It's less neat, but so much fun. So there is this, and I don't know if this is on camera. Let me stand up. Let me get off my lazy butt. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. So anyone want to guess? I'll give you a minute to guess what's in this box. this is the thing outside of more index cards, because there's just never enough index cards in my world, which will be the next thing I buy in. I want more index cards, and I need to buy more glue. So, I'm gonna pop it open. Who guessed what it is? Anybody who's ordered these probably knows what's in this box. It is, ta-da! Oops, and I'm throwing my little bit of glue everywhere. So let me see if I can keep this on camera, but not have the box pop down. Nope, I'm gonna have to hold it up. What if I just turn the box around and I put the cardboard towards me? Sure, why not? Let's do that, Amy. You don't need to sit anywhere near the table. There we go. Bend that down, and where are we? We're not in frame. Okay. So this is 1,000 of my tags that I like. I could only afford to order in one size, so I got the same size I already had, so I can do more colors. Because I've done the black, but I want to do brown, yellow, and I think a couple shades of blue. I'm trying to think of what else I have in there. I've already done red, purple, orange, and teal, and the black is done. So I'm thinking about what dye I already have in there. I have an aquamarine. I have yellow. I have not done green, so I need to do green. I want to do a couple shades of blue. Probably a couple shades of green. I do 200 at a time because I do not currently offer them for sale. I would probably do about 500 per color if I were going to start offering them on the regular. And these actually dye and dry fairly fast. So not super expensive, but not really cheap either. These are a good weight of tag. I have looked for them without this thing because that would be sweet for how I use them. But overall, I like the reinforced look, and since I do the dip dyeing where it wicks up the tag, not such a big deal. And I can even coffee dye them with the wicking sort of way. I just haven't tried it yet, so but that's what I'm doing right now, and that is my 1,000 tags. I'm so excited. So I will have to count out some lots, and these I do in a little rectangular Tupperware container. So I can make that. I have an aluminum pot in a specific size that makes just about the right amount of dye for doing the tags. So I can actually do the tags before I do the papers, because I don't actually put these in the dye vat. The only ones I ever did were those coffee dyed ones that I showed you. And we saw what happened with that. It was, not awful, but the little thingies came off the top. And yes, I said little thingies. You can snicker all you want. It is all good. Let's find a place to put that. And then let me see what I'm sitting at, because I did have some, where are we? 18 minutes. I will cover just this. I've gotten some stuff from live sales. I never buy very much anymore. But this was gifted to me by NaTasha from maybe Bima's sale. I've already forgotten. I don't think it was one of Keisha's. I think it was probably Bima's last sale that she had. So she ordered me these 2 doilies. Specifically, she gifted them to me with the express purpose of testing them as a thing to dry papers on to see what kind of effects I could get. So this is, maybe that's not the best backdrop for this. Let me figure out something. I need something colored. I have anything colored. I use one of these really ugly Amazon envelopes, but it should still, there we go. So you can see the pattern there. Now I gotta stand up again and make sure it's on camera. Yeah, that's on camera. So this is the smaller of the 2. So I'm gonna try laying these on top of papers, and then I'm gonna try laying papers on top of them and see what I can get. I know some people use the plastic doilies and the plastic tablecloths, and that is definitely on my wish list of items to test out, because I've seen some really nice effects, and I would love to try it out for my own journals, but also to offer to my lovely customers, because I love to do a variety, as much variety as I can get in what I'm doing. I haven't dip dyed or coffee dyed anything where I thought, God, I never want to do that again. So there's the smaller one, and this is the larger one. So this is a pretty big little flower pattern, but nice open kind of net design in there. Some little design around the edges. So both of these will get tested, and if it doesn't work out for patterning, I will have some lovely coffee dyed doilies that possibly will get sent to NaTasha if it doesn't work out, or get used in a journal. But that was my most recent thing that came in the mail. It actually came the day before yesterday, because I told NaTasha yesterday that it came. So it came on, yesterday was Thursday, it came on Wednesday, because today is Friday, unless I'm completely wrong, and I've been wrong many times in the past. And we are edging on 21 minutes, so I will wrap this up, pick up the stuff I threw all over the floor. So I will touch briefly on the weather, because I'm obsessed with the summer weather. People are already all over Pinterest posting fall stuff, and I know it's coming for you East Coast people much sooner than it's coming for us here. We have at least 2 months to go of summer for us, possibly 3, and based on when summer started, we may be hot until Christmas. That does happen some years. One year, we totally were sweating our butts off, sitting in lawn chairs in shorts and barbecuing for Christmas dinner, because nobody could stand to turn on the oven to make anything in the house. We barbecued everything for Christmas dinner. It was crazy ridiculous. It was like 95 on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Just totally insane. It is going to be 107 here today with 47 permit. I permit the humidity. I wouldn't if I had any choice. 47% humidity. Ew, that is so much humidity for us. It just feels hot and sticky. And I know all of you East Coast people, especially you down south people, and probably the people in New York, you are like, that is nothing. And you're right. But for us wussies here in the central Phoenix, Scottsdale area, that is a lot of humidity for us. We're used to something way lower than that, practically non-existent. 5% chance of rain tomorrow. That's probably monsoons. Our lows are in the high 80s and low 90s, which means at 3 in the morning, it will probably be 92 degrees. It just never cools down. And at the end of the day, when the sun goes down and you live in a city and the heat is releasing from all the paved surfaces, the roads, the sidewalks, the buildings, it just stays sweltering and icky, because that's when I take out my trash. That is when I check my mail. And you walk out there and you're like, ugh, this isn't too much better than when it was 3 in the afternoon. The only benefit is the hairdryer's probably not on, and the broiler has been turned down to like just regular hot oven. They're still predicting, they've pushed it back some, 199 like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They do this to us all the time. It just gets pushed and pushed. They don't know what's going on. They just predict based on weather patterns from other years. And this year has been quite a bit different. I will say it's 107, 108, 110, 111, 106, and then it drops down below 105. So that will be something of a relief for us. Feel free to talk about your weather. I'm sure with humidity, when they do the heat index thing, you're like, that's nothing. Because it's, right now, it's supposed to be 107 today. but it's 90 degrees at the minute according to this, and it says it feels like 92 with our lovely, icky 47% humidity. Bleh. So, there I have babbled about my weather. I hope that you are having, whatever time of day it is that you are having, a wonderful day. If you have watched to the end of this video and it is the second video of mine you have watched today, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that you are filling your days with things that bring you joy and happiness. And until the next video, I wish you happy crafting. Bye!